In this video, I'm unboxing this all mahogany Dreadnought acoustic guitar sent to me by a company called Orangewood out of California. They messaged me a couple weeks ago and they were like, would you like to try this guitar? And I said, sure, so they sent it to me. This video is gonna be just first impressions. I'm gonna play some licks, see how it sounds, but this is gonna be part of a series here. This company has an interesting business model. They don't actually sell guitars in shops to the best of my knowledge. You can only order these online, and I think that's actually a decent move for any company trying to sell goods in this day and age, as everything moves more online and through online purchases. But there's a problem here because most guitar players want to hear the guitar before they purchase it. So I'm assuming that's why they sent it to me. And so if you're into learning more about guitars, bluegrass licks, things like that, subscribe here to the channel, but otherwise let's get into unboxing this guitar. So I will be honest here, this company has given me very good vibes so far. Here on the YouTube space, you often get emails sent to you by companies wanting you to try out X product, but usually there's like fine print that makes me not want to do it, or they want you to do it a certain way. When this company reached out to me, I asked the question, you know, what needs to be included in this and that, and they were just like, just let the audience know of the specs, otherwise just try it out and have fun with it. So that is really cool because they could put a whole bunch of, you know, just fine print in there that tells me to do it a certain way or whatever, but not this company. Let me pull this sucker out here. All right. Hard shell case is included. I'm gonna get to the specs here in just a second, but let's just pull this out, tune it up, and give you my first impressions of it. Okay, and there she is. My prediction is that this guitar is going to be loud. And I say that because it has a torrefied Sitka spruce top, which means that it's went through a process that dried the top out. And the drier that top is, generally speaking, the louder the guitar is gonna be, or at least in my experience. Let's get it tuned up. All right, first strum. This is a bluegrass channel, so let's go ahead and do the... All right, I usually have a little bit more trouble just picking up a guitar and playing some bluegrass licks, more so than I just did there. You saw me play there. So first off, I don't know if it sounds as loud as I thought it would, but they have to be broken in. This has got some unique design elements. I want to do a whole nother video on that because I think just initial sort of impressions of this is a sort of a mixture between like a Martin D18 and a D28, and so I'll break all that down in a separate video. I really like the inlay here. I tend to enjoy the decorative little nuances on fretboards and the headstock, for that matter, of guitars. And this is really light. I want to throw up the specs there on the screen and chat about those here just for a second, because this does have some surprisingly good quality hardware on it, which I can already feel is making a difference of this guitar, which is great. First off, this is solid mahogany, but it does have that Sitka spruce top that I mentioned. The first thing that sticks out to me are the Grover tuners that come stock. If you've watched the channel, you know that I have a Recording King that really went through some tuning stability issues, and so switched out the stock for that guitar with some Waverleys, but the Grovers were also on that short list. So that's really cool. These are not cheap guitar tuners, and you know, with an acoustic, I'm finding that that is an element that a lot of the guitar makers will really skip out on, quality tuners. So seeing the Grovers on there is amazing. Tusk, nut, and saddle. I have done a video mentioning this type of hardware before down at Papa Odell's in Cleveland, and I've had the end pins from Tusk in my Martin, and I love the brand. I don't know a whole lot about them, but yeah, this isn't plastic stock bone nut and saddle. And again, if you're here new in the guitar world, which I was not too long ago, at least learning about them and how they work and more in depth about the features. Right here is the nut, down here is the saddle, and these two pieces are crucial to get a great tone because they touch the strings directly. And so when you see decent quality nut and saddle on a guitar, that's always a great sign. C-shape neck shape, this is opposed to like the Recording King I mentioned where it had a V shape. Scalloped X bracing, I'll probably put a camera down in here eventually and we'll look at all that. Ernie ball strings and a hard shell case is included. All right, so first impressions. This sounds like a nice, crisp guitar. This runs $745, I believe it is. There's also an option to add a pickup to it online. I'm gonna play around with this a lot more. I want to really stick this in front of a decent microphone. I'm just using the DJIs that I've got here and pit it up against the Martin that I just bought because both of those guitars are both mahogany back and sides. The Martin, I don't believe, has a torrefied top. I will say right now, the thing that I'm not crazy about, which I'm pretty particular about because I do think that I am a spoiled Martin brat when it comes to the headstock of an acoustic guitar. I just like that classic Martin headstock. I don't like how this one's got this curve at the top of it, but that's just me being picky. Otherwise, I don't know. I want to hear your all's thoughts. Have you ever heard of this brand of guitar? What do you think about this business model? I want to chat more about that on a separate video because I think there's some interesting topics to discuss there because guitar stores around the country are going to limited hours, or I've heard of some of them even just closing, and so that creates a special condition for a company like Orangewood who only relies on online sales to sell these guitars. And that's why, again, to repeat what I said at the beginning of the video, I think that's why this guitar is in my hands right now. And I think this is an interesting and smart business model as the world gets crazier every day. Don't forget, if you're interested in learning bluegrass guitar, some of the licks that I played here today on this video, check out Flatpick Foundations, www.codymmusic.com. There's, God, I think we're closing in on like 100 lessons in there right now. I'm gonna keep adding to it over time. So if you're wanting to learn bluegrass guitar, if you're finding it hard to find the structure that you need to really dig in and learn how to play and be helped along the way, get inside of the program. There's a lot of good feedback. Folks are finding it useful and all that. So folks, stay tuned to the channel. We're gonna do more with this Orangewood guitar, and I'm gonna get off here and play this some more. So we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.